Levski coming here. What day are we? Wednesday afternoon, Santo Domingo. And yeah, it's 3 p.m. here. Just finished work. And I thought, let's come in with a quick live. There's so many things on my mind with approach. It's just like a constant, almost like solution and question generator in my mind at the moment with this, because I just think there's so many things I want to talk about on an almost daily basis. So yeah, it's definitely time for me to start sorting out the production value of this channel, because so much stuff that needs to be discussed and direction I can give to people in this space. And so let's just start to go through today. Let's just get into something practical. The title of the live was First Rule of Cold Approach Club. A little bit of a cheesy title, but this is not even the first rule, to be fair. The first rule of cold approach is go and do it. That's the first rule. Go and do it. And if you can't find, if you can't get yourself into to do your sets, contact someone, get help. Yeah, it does not need to be me. Just contact someone and get some help. That's the first rule. Go and do it. But as time goes on, obviously we want to do things in a proficient manner. And I've discussed this with friends, other coaches recently. And what I think we all are finding is that the actual technique of the approach, that can be taught definitely in a few days, for sure. And it can really be taught in maybe a couple of days. Once you put that together, in of itself, that's going to get you results. As long as you show up and you're reasonably well dressed, you're reasonably well presented. The technique alone will get you results if it's good enough. So a good stop, good strong eye contact, a bold compliment, being positive, feeling positive, and maybe a smile when you stop as well. In the interaction, getting a little bit of proximity to the girl as well, making sure your intent is known, maintaining strong eye contact, being a little bit flirty, and actually going for the close, setting up the date and going for the close, or taking her on an instant date. So that alone will get you results, and then just applying that consistently. All the things I've just mentioned there. If you have someone with you, you can tweak that, because it's very difficult to see yourself in set. In fact, it's impossible to see yourself, but you can't really tweak yourself very easily. But if you have someone with you who knows what they're looking at, they can assist you, so you get very proficient very quickly. But there's another side to it. Which is, well, then what happens when the guy goes out on the date? Then what happens in the relationship? And actually, this is where, quite honestly, this is by far the strongest aspect of my game, should we say, or my approach, whatever. Approach, I just consider myself a guy who knows how to do cold approach. I understand it. It's more on the back end. The back end is really where I'm stronger. I'll give some details of my own situation a bit later on. But part of the reason for that is because I do actually feel good. Like with the girl, I feel confident way beyond the approach. I don't need techniques all the time. I feel self-confident. I feel that I've got value, and I feel that I'm attractive. I feel, the more time I spend with the girl, I just know she's going to like me more. Otherwise, she'll scoot off very quickly. But the more time I spend with her, the more I know she's going to like me. It's just not even she's going to fall in love with me. It's not even a question in my mind. I just know it. So on the back end, for me, there's not really any issues. For some guys, though, you can kind of technique your way through an approach, and then on the back end, that self-confidence still isn't really there. That's when guys can run into issues, because they learn the techniques, and they maybe push themselves into enough approaches, but that's not going to last forever. within your relationship with the girl. So it's important to develop that more grounded, solid, long-term confidence. And equally, in the approach itself, you will be more effective if you feel that like very blunt fundamental confidence. Yeah. So, and the question is, how do we actually develop that? And what if you what strategies can we use to improve how we feel in the approaches, how we actually feel in the approaches? Because I think this is really crucial. Because if it's sustain if you feel good in your approaches, it's going to be sustainable. If you don't feel good in your approaches ever, realistically, it's not going to be sustainable over a long period of time. Or you don't need a long period of time, but you need a few. Most guys are going to need a few weeks to get like a girlfriend worthy girl, if that's what they're looking for. It might be a few weeks, it might be a few months, but you're going to need to stick in for a little while. And so how do we actually do that? And so I was thinking about this. If you can't be confident initially, what we can do is we can at the very least start to move towards a sense of calmness in the approach, a sense of calmness and a sense of relaxation. You can actually do that. You may not be necessarily confident, but you can move towards a sense of calmness and assuredness. Well, assuredness kind of comes alongside calmness. This won't be for your first day of approach, maybe not even your second day. But how do you eventually do that? And this is actually where something like meditation or NLP can come in really useful. There's a guy I spoke to a while ago who'd done a lot of cold approach, and he just kind of retired from the game. He said he found meditation was the biggest thing that helped him, in his cold approach, which I found really interesting. I use something called NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming, and I use a specific tool called the lightning process, which is created by a guy called Phil Parker, Dr. Phil Parker. That's the tool that I use to improve my sense of relaxation on a consistent basis, to give me more enjoyment. I wouldn't probably be able to, I don't think I'd have got to a point where I feel confident to teach. I'd have got to a point where I can get a girlfriend, no problem. But to feel confident enough to teach, you need to put in a lot of reps. And I don't think I'd have been able to put in those reps without the lightning process, because it was a case of Saturday I'm out, Sunday I'm out, every single weekend for 2 years. So to maintain that level of consistency, of course, there's days where I just can't be fucked to go out, obviously. And you can, with cold approach, it's not like the gym. You can't just force yourself like, well, you can, but it's not actually very effective. You're gonna have a breakdown. You need to actually be in a decent state. So what I found was just using the lightning process, I could get myself into at least a calm state, and then I can start my session off. So meditation, lightning process. Look at Phil Parker, Dr. Phil Parker. If you're struggling with state, that's a very, very, he is just worth his weight in gold. And with NLP, it was developed by a guy called Bandler and a couple of other guys as well. And it came out of an intersection in neuroscience and programming, which is really interesting. And they started to look at the brain and beliefs almost as software. And they started to look at, like, neurologically, we know how neurons and synapses work. How can we actually shift these neurons into more helpful patterns that are going to be working for us instead of having our brain working against us? Jay. And so he, the whole movement of NLP came out of those guys who've got a very, very deep understanding of all this stuff, and they developed it all. But because they went outside of academia in order to do that, because they realized we can make a lot of money doing this, we can make literally millions because of the findings we've got. They were both academics, but they left academia. And so the normal route of development with anything is like publish papers, publish studies, etc., etc. They just said, "Fuck that! Let's go train people. Let's go make millions of dollars because we already know this stuff is working." And so that's why it's sometimes it's got a bit of a bad rep, because then obviously people see that charlatans come into the space, people who don't have that level of like academic background that the founders had, and it's actually become very polluted, really polluted as a space, unfortunately. And even guys, there's another guy I'm following at the moment who I think overall is quite good. I think, and he's got a good business, and I can see overall he's good, but he's nowhere near on Phil's level. Nowhere near. I've worked with Phil personally a couple of times, and the guy is like, he really is it's almost a magician level practice he has. It's unbelievable to go through his program. So it's the best money I've probably ever invested in that program for me. A few other guys I know who do cold approach, they've used it as well, and they found it useful in order to get them just. All you need to do with state is just if you can just nudge yourself 10-20% in the right direction, that's actually very valuable. And then there's some sessions I've had where truly I go out and do a few approaches, I don't feel anything. I feel so relaxed. Like I've said it to Christian, he uses it sometimes in his lives. It's literally just like picking up a glass of water and drinking a glass of water. That's how easy some of my approaches feel. Contrast obviously with the first ever one, like Manchester City Centre, is quite stressful, so yeah, NLP is the one. I mean, you can learn quite a bit from the books, but to get the depth in it, I would say, yeah, actually working with a practitioner. In your case, Jay, I know your profile obviously because we work together. You've got very good overall state. So there's certain guys who've got a very anxious state, and so for them, NLP is something that's invaluable. In your case, and there's a few, it seems to almost be like almost a bit one extreme or the other. It's okay to feel some nerves and stuff like that. That's fine. Some guys really find it debilitating, and then other guys it's kind of like they kind of just brush it off. They just kind of breeze through it. But the ideal state you want to be in is just really looking forward to going and talking to the girl. That's the ideal state you want to be in. And so this is where some of my teaching is different to some of the guys, for example, in the entourage, who are very much like hammer through the approaches, push through the approaches. It's like get through the adversity and so on. For me, that's something you only really want to be doing on day one, maybe day two. That's natural. But after that, there is no reason why you should be feeling stressed or what have you. You want to move yourself as much into relaxation as possible, and you want to move yourself towards enjoyment. Yeah, that's really, if you see a beautiful girl, you should feel, if you're feeling stress, it's because you're afraid of judgment and all of this stuff. That's totally the wrong frame. The right frame is, she's just so fit, I just want to talk to her, I just want to look at her a bit closer. That's the right frame. Other things that can help with that in terms of mindset and mentality, other things that can help is seeing it as something that's fun. I think high achieving men, we are all have our default state is achievement, right? To achieve something in work, to achieve something in a hobby, to achieve something in the gym, whatever it is, goal orientated. And that's good. But when it comes to socializing and meeting women are very light butterfly creatures. That's not really the best energy for it. And also just for yourself as well. Like, you don't want to be going out to feel like cold approaches work. I know what that feels like. I've been there, and it's not really sustainable. So having really like internalizing, this is like a fun process. This is not a serious process, right? It's just a fun process. If you can internalize that, that's really the way to go. And one thing I've found for solo approach, which the more time goes on, the more I really think solo approach has got to be is really solo approach must be approached with caution. I really think it should be approached with caution because I've done as many hardcore solo sessions as more than most people. Probably there's only a couple of guys I know who've maybe done more than me, but I've done some. I've probably done the hardest locations, I would say, solo. And what I'm realizing is once I go past about 3 approaches, it then becomes fucking drudgery. And I might get something on between approaches 4 to 10, but it feels like I'm going life and death, you know. And even now, once I go past about 3 approaches, solo, it's not fun. It's not fun. Whereas the first one is always fun. The second one, and usually the first one, I prefer just to close that. But if that doesn't close, then the second or the third. Those first 3 are fun. After that, then it kind of can become drudgery. You're walking around and it's drudgery. So I think there's 2 ways to go about it. There's go out and do a quick sprint, 1, 2, 3, fast on your own, bang, done, move on with your day. And then the other way is just to go out with a mate, and then you can crack on to 10 approaches if you want, because it's just fun. It's actually fun just doing these crazy approaches with your friends, and kind of outdoing each other and doing these difficult things, or going over to the girl with her mate, or she's with a group or whatever. It can all be fun, right? Or going in together. So if you're with someone, I think it's a great activity to do. It's a great just male activity to go going on the hunt together. But if you're solo, I honestly think being a sniper is the way to go. So that's how I'm going to operate from now going forward. I think I did 3 or 4 sessions. I did 3 sessions last week. I know 4 sessions last week. The first 3 were just very short and sharp, and they were great. They were great. I think the first 2 were just fucking spectacular. I had 2 instant dates and then 3 numbers. And instant date, the second instant date I was with 4 girls. They all came. We went to the fucking fair together. We went on the Ferris wheel together. So that was a really fun, just so easy and so fun. I think day 3 maybe I was a bit knackered, just did 1 or 2 approaches, nothing really stuck. And then the 4th one, I think I got a bit of a bad rub initially. One group was too young, second girl was not interested. The third group, they were waiting for their boyfriends, who promptly arrived. So the first 3 I did, nothing really went anywhere. So I thought, right, let's roll into a session. You can see it on my channel. And I ended up doing about 8 or 9. I was like, man, this is, in this heat as well, it's fucking unpleasant. And so, yeah, that won't be something I'll do going forward. So I think if you're with someone, up to 10 approaches, easy. Or you can eat 6 to 10, no problem. If you're solo, personally, I'm not going to do more than 3 going forward. And yeah, the last thing as well, I do think being part of groups and being out with other people, the difference in how you feel is pretty substantial. So to the point, it's almost I'm consistently shocked when I'm with other people or when I've just been with other people and I do the approaches compared to when I'm completely solo. I'm consistently shocked by the difference in the 2. And you think, and I've, even with experience and NLP and stuff, I can internally in my nervous system, in most cases, I can usually feel a little bit more stress when I'm completely solo. And when I'm with people, I don't feel any stress at all. Yeah, so the difference is really significant. So that's probably the best thing you can do to control your state, is just to be out with other people having fun. And your mates shouldn't judge you. If guys are out with me and they don't want to approach, I don't give a shit at all. I don't care at all. I'll drag them into one. But if they do, that's fantastic. The only thing I don't like on sessions is people being a drag. I really dislike that on sessions. So if someone is actively being a negative influence, or criticizing guys who are approaching, or is just moaning how they're feeling they're feeling too nervous, I'm just just don't approach then, just relax. That's the only type of person I don't want to be around. But people who just want to spectate, that's actually cool. That's still great for me actually, because it's like it's just more bodies, you know. Um, yeah, I see what Josh is saying. Yeah, state is on versus when something is off. Sometimes with the state as well, it can just be like we're all human beings, and it can just be. I found like in Belgrade, I found if I went out at the end of the day and I wasn't quite happy with where my work had finished, professional work, and I thought, well, let me go out because the boys are out. And I'd go into some approaches and I'd be like, I'd be doing it for the sake of it, and they would just land completely flat. Belgrade's very unforgiving, so they'd just be completely flat. Conversely, when I'd finished my work, I felt great. I'm like, yes, done it all today. Bang. Right, I'll just roll out. Normally the first one, I'll just clean up on the first one because I just feel good. And I think it's not, we have to realize cold approach is not the gym. It's like, it's not, you know, you can't just mechanically force your way through it. You've got to have a good feel about yourself. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you've got to fundamentally be feeling pretty good. And then, yeah, 4 or 5 solo and then need a break. Yeah, I mean, 4 or 5 solo is good. 4 or 5 solo is good. And it's not really the numbers that are important. Some of my best runs, even before I got much training, some of my best runs are when I just do one a day. Because that, and even if I was actually quite nervous on that one, I remember some of them I was so nervous, but like, it didn't matter. If I do, so I do 5 a week, that's enough. One of those girls is going to fall. And or I'm just going to have a great connection with one of them. So volume is for training and it's for like, you know, it's something to recruit a lot of numbers, but just one a day is still good. It's actually still good. That's up to potentially, you know, 20, 30 approaches a month. If you're actually effective, you're going to get a handful of numbers. And so within a month, you're going to get a decent girlfriend probably if you just do one a day, if you're a decent guy. So yeah, going up to like high volume is, you know, yeah, it's an innovative way to do it, but I just think being careful with that solo because you can burn out, man. You can burn out. So yeah, we are tribal creatures. The last thing I'll finish is quite an interesting little bit of theory here, but I look a lot at evolutionary psychology as well as just like what I've seen working with people in the field in real life in all sorts of settings. And I would say evolutionary psych is probably the best place. If you're a kind of nerd, it's one of the best places to start to think about male female dynamics. It's the only real place, in my opinion, in the sciences. Like all these looks maxing guys have got it completely wrong. They really have, because those studies on like looks maxing or women prefer this, men prefer that, they're done in like ridiculous scenarios where the girl's just sat at a desk in a lab, literally just looking at photos and ticking boxes. That has no bearing on in the environment that she's in, her emotions, anything like that. So whereas the kind of evolutionary psychology stuff is much more grounded in, yeah, in if you but it's none of it's really based on like picking up girls. It's just stuff you've got to try and figure out, draw your own conclusions. And one thing I saw a couple of years ago, I remember watching this documentary on chimps. It was chimp warfare, and they obviously they all roll in gangs, and there's like hierarchy within the gangs, and the women will tend a bit more towards the higher end of the hierarchy, and we kind of know this stuff. But actually, like the younger ones, they can actually, you know, who don't have a high status, they can kind of work their way in there with some of the girls, but and they're obviously much more primitive than obviously human beings. But one thing I found interesting was if a group of apes in this wherever it was, the Congo or whatever, if they find a solo ape from another tribe, they'll just kill it for the fun of it. They will automatically just kill him if he's on his own, automatically. And I found that they'll just literally rip the guy to pieces. And I found that so interesting. I was like, maybe that's why when you are solo, if you think of yourself in a group or when you're with your mates or whatever, there's another hostile group around, you probably don't feel as stressed. If you're on your own, obviously physically you're outnumbered. But even when you're in a non-threatening environment, you know, we're in big cities, it's civilization and so on. I wonder if a little bit of that programming is still running. Because you're kind of like, I'm on my own. I don't have any allegiances here to back me up and protect me. And so there's just a slightly higher state of stress. If you imagine going out into the street and there were only women, how would you feel? I think I would feel completely fucking relaxed. There's some external pressure that's psychologically there from the fact other guys are watching. You maybe feel on some level that this guy hostile or not. Maybe that's just me because the type of places I go, but I just think it's so interesting. Like looking at apes, it's like, yeah, they'll just fucking kill a solo guy. He's got no chance. So it does kind of make you think, yeah, you should be working with others if possible. So yeah, bit of evolutionary psych there. Next one is, yeah, next little point I've got noted down here is why getting good is important. Why getting good is important. Why it's really important for decent guys who are got a lot going for them. It's really important for them to get good. It's really fucking important. And just to be able to strip away a little bit of that cognition and enter in that more flirty sexual zone. Why is it important? Like why isn't just having the career and stuff like that or whatever, why isn't that just the be all and end all? Well, the fact is, in the modern world, people aren't getting married off to their first boyfriend or girlfriend when they're 18. That's no longer happening. Okay, it's a much more open environment. So we've got like a free market of sexuality, basically. And the best guys for the future of humanity are still the best guys. Yeah, that's why Elon Musk he's having like 20 children, because he ultimately knows. He's like, I've got an IQ of like 150. Yeah, it's definitely good if I have more children as compared to the delinquent fucking Neanderthal who's been in prison 6 times, who's probably got like 10. Yeah, so it's actually important that the best guys have got good options and they can find woman. Let's just stick with one woman to have a family with and so on. Don't want to be left out in the darkness. And they find the right woman as well. It's really important because like, I'm quite, in a way, I'm a bit elitist in a way. It's like the people who've got no capacity, well, they just do whatever they want, really. They're going to, I don't know what the fuck they're going to be doing. Is it like 8 million people on the dole or something in the UK? That's not, I'm not really concerned. I don't think those people are going to drive civilization, humanity forward. Hopefully some of them do, but I look at like, okay, what are all the good top tier guys doing? If they're struggling, we've got a problem. We've got a big fucking problem. With this actually civilizational level problem. If the good guys are struggling. And so on this free market where women and women are much more like, it's not chaperoned anymore. Women are just going with their emotions, they're going with this, that, and the other. And unfortunately, their emotions can definitely tend towards, oh, this guy's just sexually exciting. He's been in prison 3 times, yeah, but he's sexually exciting. And you think that's just lower class girls? It's really fucking not. There's middle class girls. Like I know like girls who have private educations who they end up with guys like this, and they're just completely a shell, right? It's because these guys peak their emotions one way or another, peak their sexuality, and you think, well, there you go. That's I mean, they talk about it in ancient civilizations. It's like preserving good marriages, good bloodlines, preserving good quality, like mating and stuff. So like you're thinking, well, if all the decent guys are getting, they don't know what's going on, or they focus so much on the work and looks maxing, they don't actually know how to turn the girls on. We've got a bit of a situation on our hands here. Yeah, exactly, 1 in 4, exactly. So, but I know for a fact some of these guys who've got like not a lot going for them, some of these fuckers have got a lot of children. They really have. And then you're looking at these intelligent guys who've got a lot going for them. They've got, they're hardworking, and like they're getting in a way overlooked, or they can be. So it's very important they get good. It's actually civilizationally important. That's like I'm not going to get to. I would love to get onto that level where, people be going, yeah, actually, I think Joseph's right about this shit. let's get ourselves out, lads. After we finished our programming job, let's get ourselves out in the town and start macking the babes. Um, but yeah, it's when you think about it though, it's a pretty significant thing. Um, and otherwise, what you're gonna have is a situation where the worst guys are reproducing with the best girls, which is literally, I won't use the word, but it's not good. It's not good. There's a word for that. Uh, but yeah, we don't want that to happen. We don't want that to happen. It's no good for the girls either because they are going to become single moms. That's a given, right? And like, unfortunately, they just don't have the capacity of logic. Yeah, if women had the capacity of logic, this wouldn't happen as much, especially younger women. They don't have that capacity, so they just go with the emotions. Um, And yeah, so it's very important, guys, get good at approach, get good at dating, learn how to pique the women's emotions and stuff. It's not difficult. It's not a complicated thing. It's pretty easy. Um, but yeah, that's just like an extra point. It is important for guys to get good. And it's obviously important for ourselves as well. Why should some dumb fuck who's working or who's not working or is working like some of the hustlers out here in Dominican Republic, they literally just live in the street. They literally just work in the street. Their job is hustling people. Why should they get the girls? Why should they get the hot girls? They can go fuck themselves. Like they should get the bottom tier girls because they're the bottom of the tier in men. But they don't. They actually do quite well for themselves because they know how to hustle, right? And good for them, I suppose. But like, it does mean the good guys have to learn as well. Um, yeah, so it's a crazy thing. So yeah, so good guys need to win. Is there anything else on this one? Yeah, I mean, I see it sometimes as like girls I see and they get involved with these hustlers these street hustlers, and I'm just like, there's been a couple of times where I'll go in for the girl and I'm kind of like, it doesn't really quite work, and then I'll see them later on with one of these hustlers, and I'm like, yeah, the guy's good, but like, he's better than me at this street approach because he literally does it. That's how he makes his living. If you can believe that, there's people who make their living like that. And obviously he's got the exotic thing as well. I'm just whatever. I'm just going over, probably looking like a sex tourist in some cases. Um, yeah. The interesting thing is that's only on foreign girls here in the DR. If it's a local girl, one of those street hustlers have got no chance, very little chance. They'll get like a street urchin girl, and if I go over to the decent girls, they'll be very interested. Almost always, basically, like yeah, 90% of the time, I'll get at least some interest. But if it's a foreign girl, so sometimes I might accidentally approach a foreign girl, maybe like somewhere American or whatever, European or whatever, and they're kind of like a bit frosty with me or whatever. Okay, fine. And then I see them getting involved with one of these exotic guys. I call them plastic bag Romeos because their day job, if they have a job in the day, it's packing plastic bags, and then at night they're in the street. Well, some of them are just in the street all day long. How they operate is they get a foreign girlfriend to send them $200-300 a month, and if they get three or four of them, there you go, there you go. You got $1,000 a month, mate. That's like out here you can live pretty comfortably off that. Yeah, good guys need to win. We end up with leftovers down the line. Yeah, I would say so though as well. In terms of leftovers, it depends what age group you're looking at as well. Um, I personally, that's kind of like, yeah, I'm like, I want the young ones, man. I want the young hot ones. I don't want a girl who's like 30. I don't want a girl who's 39, who's someone else's leftovers. Yeah, it's an interesting point. So yeah, it's interesting when I see that. I'm even loosely friends with a couple of those guys, so I see them operating, and it's good to watch. But I'm like, these girls are fucking stupid. That's the other thing that's going through my head. I'm like, these girls are stupid. It's like, they're just naive. They don't know this guy is like a literal street hustler. They don't get he lives in a favela. Yeah, I don't, because they've never seen they've never seen like rows and rows of corrugated iron shacks, which is where these guys are living. Because I know the parts of the city they're coming from. Santo Domingo is interesting because you've got everything from peak Miami level wealth, like crazy levels of wealth, right down to favelas. you've got it all in one place, and then you've got a middle area as well. I live in a historical area, so you've got it all. Um, so yeah, I'll leave it with that. Good guys need to win, basically. Then broader game as well. This is something I was just thinking about, like the broader context of your life. It's that context that's so important. Like, what is your friendship group saying? Do you have good relationships with other guys? That's actually more important than approach, because your skill if you're just a cold approach maniac and you got no male friends, you're basically just a weird serial killer, and it's a strange place to be. It's not a good place to be. Or if you're just like only a womanizer and you don't have like enough like male friends, it's very unbalanced. And actually having a solid base of male friends and then solid base of activities that you do, that's more important. That's actually more nourishing for you. And then the girl really just comes in and she's just like an additional, she's the cherry on top of the cake. That's really what it is. So when everything else is sorted out and then you do some approach as well, the girls they're just going to appear and they're the cherry on the top of the cake. So having that holistic setup is really important. What else did I have here? Yeah, nightlife as well. I'm sort of slowly retiring. I've slowly retired out of nightlife, but I'm thinking I might start getting back into it in the next few months, just for a bit of variety, like away from street approach. One thing I've noticed in the last, like being more observant with who I'm approaching, is I find if girls have got dressed up to go out somewhere, I'll fucking close them like nobody's business. Like if they've got dressed up to go out, I come in complimenting their clothes and their look. They're already looking for attention. So I'm just giving them the attention they were hoping they were going to get when they go out. So that's something to look out for. If a girl's well dressed when she goes out, or she's with a friend, my ideal approach is either she's on her own or she's with one friend, and they've got dressed up to come out. If both the friends are fit, then you're just on. It's just on. That's the perfect scenario. She's either solo or she's just with one fit friend. Yeah, it's very enjoyable to approach the girls out in the DR. Actually, they really know how to have fun and just like they know how to be approached. It's not they expect to be approached. They know that guys are going to be looking at them and stuff like that and shouting things at them. So they actually love being approached. Yeah, so yeah, clothing and picking your shots with the girls. I I'm almost at a point where like sometimes I'll approach girls just out of due diligence where I'm like even though I feel like she probably really looks like it's not on, I'll approach out of due diligence. 90% of the time that goes how I expect it to go, which is like, yeah, it wasn't on. But there is that 1 in 10 where you're like, shit, no, I was wrong. It was actually really on with that one. So yeah, that's just how it's been in my experience. Also doing some approach in cafes as well, and in your general social life is super cool. Super cool way to do things as well. Um, at the end of the day, most guys like the reason you learn approach is to know that you can always go out and catch another fish. That doesn't mean you want to be like a fisherman, like trawling the high seas forever. Um, it's to know that you can always catch another fish. And that gives you security in your actual relationships. It gives you an ability to walk away. You can be on your own, you can chill on your own for a while, and you can go out and get another girl. Even if you take a breakup or whatever. That's really the benefit of daytime approach. And it does make you, I would say, it makes you less tolerant of bullshit as well. Yeah, I'll get to these questions in a minute because these are really good questions, guys. It just makes you less tolerant of bullshit. I don't really tolerate it now. I mean, let's say, go back to me at 32. There's like a few girls going on, and it's like I knew what to do, but it's like in the club scene, it's so fucking chaotic. So there's one girl I started to see, and she was just very hot, and I knew there was something there. It turned out she was bipolar, but I knew there was something there. I knew there was something wrong with her, and I kept kind of like I kept around, we'd break it off, and then we kind of like start again. And in retrospect, if I look back even further than that to like 12 years ago, you know, I basically, if a girl was hot and she would give me sex, I would keep her around as long as possible, because it's like, why would I refuse sex with this hot girl when it's like I might have had to do 100 club approaches to get that girl? It's like that's work, man. That's like 10 nights out, but I've got this one. This is fucking premium. So I'll just keep around as long as possible, that meant that I would be willing to deal with a certain level of bullshit, not a crazy level to be honest, like, but I just remember a few episodes of girls, things like it's often things like girls not wanting to leave my house, and I call them a taxi. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Or just a strange thing, just behave in a strange way. Now I just don't handle it. I don't deal with it at all. There's a girl who did it to me here the other day, a couple of weeks ago. And I was working. I told her, I ordered a taxi. She didn't go out to it. And I carried on working. And then by about a certain time, I was like, why the fuck is this girl still in my house? It was about midnight. And then she tried to have an argument with me. And I was just like, look, yeah, I'll send you home to your mom, and I'll block you, and I'll never speak to you again. Don't try me. And it was actually colder than that. And because the biggest thing the biggest thing that fucks women is you don't want to fight fire with fire. You don't want to come back in shouting and screaming. That's some absolutely retarded, childish way to deal with it. You don't want to do it. You don't want to go that way. The biggest thing that fucks women up is to totally remove your attention and just go vanish like into a black hole. That will fucking destroy them. That's their biggest fear of abandonment. That's their biggest fear. So getting into a big argument and stuff like that's just stupid. You should not argue in that way. If the girl's been unreasonable, like in that case there, she started trying to have an argument with me, this girl, and I just was like, I shut it straight down. And then the next week or a couple of weeks later, she comes back over. She brought me all these presents. She's brought me all these books and stuff, you know. So fear of loss with them. But the reason I'm able to act like that, honestly, is because I know I can replace her in an afternoon. I know that I can. And even if I'm back in Europe, okay, it might not be in one afternoon, but within a couple of afternoons, I just can replace the girl. So, yeah, it's not to say you just callously throw women out the door, but like there's a level of bullshit you just don't tolerate with when you really do know you can just replace the girl, or you're happy being alone. That's the other thing as well. LG, you can't, you absolute dog pal. Well, I don't think this channel's for you, my friend. Yeah, we'll get rid of you. How do I get rid of them? Let's get this. Yeah, we'll hide that person. Oh, Moobs, I've got a female viewer. We'll get rid of you as well, love. Goodbye. I'd use you on the channel. Yeah. Okay, so let's get back to actual intelligent people here. Let's have a look at the questions here. So, yeah, Jay, a solo womanizer is almost as weird as a looks maxer. Yeah, I'm going to come on to looks maxing in a minute. A trans party. Yeah, oh mate, that's just perfect. Yeah, that's it. That's where you want to be, where you'll just have an advantage over other guys. So like, for example, like you could go out and you're in a social area, you can just go and enjoy yourself, have banter, whatever, just like you always would have done before you've got some experience in cold approach. But you also now know, you can also, if you want, you can go up and you can go direct compliment on the outfit, get a little bit proximity there, give them a good strong eye contact, and escalate things forward quite quickly. You know you can do that now. So you've got a little secret arm that if you want, you can bring it out, or you can just go and enjoy the night. But if you want, you can always bring that out. that's the way I think to view it, is to like just have it as this little secret weapon. You can just, it's like a Swiss Army knife. You can just pull it out. Yeah. So ISB girls considered Latinas. Yeah, they're Latinas. Latinas for sure. I asked this the other day to someone. I said, would Brazilians be considered Latinas? And they said, here they said, yeah, they would consider them to be Latinas. I was like, that's interesting. I put Brazilians in a slightly different bracket to Latinas, but yeah, it's all Latin America. So yeah, they all really should count. They're all just different variations on, you know, a Latina. So the girls here, there's all sorts, man. There's lots of there's mostly mixed race girls, but there's a lot of white girls as well, and then there's a lot of black girls as well. And there's a lot of native looking girls as well. It just, there's a crazy mix. Yeah, there's a crazy mix. I think people join my channel. They think, I don't know what they think. Imagine, I think that was the girl's trying to argue with me as I'm talking about how I won't take bullshit off a girl. This is like a hot girl that I'm boning, yeah. It's some random chick, obviously American. So I don't have any bullshit, to be honest. There is no bullshit with me. There's no bullshit at all. I don't have time for it. I've got too much work to do. Too many things to deal with. So yeah. Let's have a look here. Yeah, this idea that men do bullshit, they generally don't. It's just nonsense. Like, what bullshit is a man gonna fucking give you? I suppose you can say if the guy's, you know, he's married to his wife and he's cheating on her, and maybe that's bullshit. Or the guy's an alcoholic or something, maybe. Yeah. So anyway, having a good, solid, all-round life is crucial. So, and I mentioned, yeah, avoiding drama, like having like genuine abundance allows you to do that. I say I just don't tolerate it. I've seen more than enough of it in my life, and I just refuse to tolerate it at all. Like if I have children with someone, there's not going to be shouting matches. There's going to be none of that at all. That'll never happen. I just won't allow it, because it's just a completely ridiculous way to conduct a relationship with somebody else. So let me talk about looks maxing. Let me talk about that because there's the algo. I think I don't know what. I think maybe it's because I looked at some workout stuff. It started to, well, you know how it is. You look at a few videos, looks maxing videos, out of curiosity, and then it starts to feed you them. And I really do look at these guys. I really do just feel like how lost this generation of kids is. And the problem is these guys, there's a lot of problems. This is the diagnosis here is quite deep. These guys are men with no charisma, with no social skills or very limited social skills, with no understanding of female sexuality at all, no experience. And they're being told things, and in fairness, you know, they are being shunted into these apps, which, well, you only have looks on the apps, right? You don't have anything else. So they actually don't know what normal male behavior is, like, you know, what a normal adult man is supposed to do. None of the older guys have really taught them. There's abdication of, well, the older guys themselves don't even know. So it's just like, it's the completely blind leading the completely blind. When you think about what looks maxers are actually doing is, you know, they're actually obsessing, you know, in an incredibly feminine and also an insecure feminine way. This is like, they've got the mindset of like an insecure 15-year-old girl. And they're expecting, like, that does not get a woman's pussy wet. I'm sorry, it just fucking doesn't. Yeah. It looks maxing guys. A lot of them, I look at them, I'm like, bro, you look like a chick, man. How the fuck have you managed to, like, anyway? And even the vocab that's used, like glow up. I mean, this is just, it's extremely kind of camp, transsexual, womanish language. Like, the fuck is a glow up? You know. We just used to call it like you go out, you get a haircut, you just go to the gym, and you wear decent clothes. That is that's like peak looks for man. That's fucking awesome. You don't need to. Some of the things these guys are doing, and they start like measuring head ratios and stuff like that. I'm like, what kind of autists are you people, man? What kind of freaks are they? And and in their mind, they're right because maybe because they got a few more matches on Tinder. But again, Tinder's just, it's not the one anyway. So in their mind, they're right. And it's like, I look over to the USA, which is the driver of much of this culture because it's the preeminent cultural force. And I don't see much like actual decent advice coming through to men. It's probably my friend Ephraim. It's the only American guy I go like, yeah, everything this kid says. He's younger than me. He's 26, but everything the guy says is based on his experience and is on point. I look around at the other people, and there's one or two, for sure. There are one or two who are decent, but there's a lot of fucking. There's a guy. What's he called? There's a guy I've seen recently. He's got famous because all his videos are to do with retard maxing. An American guy. Look up retard max. Sorry, mom, I'm retarded. That's a famous video that he's done recently. He's really good as well because he's saying exactly the same stuff that I'm saying here. But yeah, there's so much in that culture that is coming out that is just so noxious, and then obviously it infects Europe as well. It's really insecure, and it's like, bro, your girl's vagina is not getting wet off this. And you don't have a girl, let's be real. And just to illustrate this a step further, so I'm in Dominican Republic right now. I was in the Balkans last year. In the Balkans, I must have seen 50, 60 middle-aged, well, I say middle-aged, not that much older than me, like mid to late 40s guys who were like chubby, you know, they were well presented, well dressed and stuff, but they weren't in shape. Like they weren't lean or anything. And they had like really hot, like late 20s wives or girlfriends. I mean, I saw so many guys like that. It was just ridiculous because the girls are not really fixated on the guy's looks. The girls are more fixated on getting a solid boyfriend or a solid husband. And they want to be the one who's the beautiful princess. So that was the Balkans. I saw that a lot, and it's like all these looks maxing pussies. They would look at those. I don't know what they would say if I could drag them out of their bedrooms and just point their head at this guy. You see his girl there? Look at her. Does she look like? Do you think looks maxing is what established that relationship? And they'll say, "Oh no, it's money," but it's none of those guys have real. They don't have real money. None of those guys have real money. They might have an all right car, but like on finance, they don't actually have any money. They're just solid, So that'll be the Balkans. Out here, it's even on a different level altogether. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, there's a couple of Italian guys I see. They're my favorite guys out here at the moment that I'm seeing around. One of them was, they're both in their 70s. One of them was a Italian soldier in the Congo in the 1970s for like the UN or something. He got shot. So I don't know what the fuck. This guy is like just a character. When he was 50, he married a 22-year-old Dominican girl. He's got a family with her. And I think he got divorced a few years ago. So now he's playing the field again in his 70s. And, he's like a quiet guy. He's more into fitness. I met this guy in the gym, but a really cool guy. And, he's got his girls here, right? There's another guy I've met who's like the true Italian stallion, again in his 70s, who had a family in Italy. And he's just so proud of the fact he's so proud to be Italian. And he's so he's from Florence. He's so proud of that as well. And he's just like such a cool guy. And he's got a genuinely incredible energy. Like every time I meet him, I feel more relaxed just speaking to the guy. He's got like exuding like a frequency of just like calm and happiness. But he's just got that, I don't know, that Italian way about him as well. Bro, this guy has got chicks hanging off him like nobody's business. Got women in their 30s and 20s as well, even some chicks in their 20s. he was showing me the photos. I'm just like, this is just ridiculous what this guy's up to. But it doesn't surprise me because the guy's energy, he's got this incredible energy about him, which, quite honestly, well, there are American guys out there who have that kind of energy. You just don't meet them very much. American guys are often a bit more intense in their head kind of energy. And so, yeah, it's like if you've never seen a charismatic man, you don't even know what one looks like. So you in your mind, you can't imagine that there are guys out there in their 70s who can pull women in cafes, restaurants, even in parks, right? Who are in their 20s. Yeah. It seems insane. But then you meet the guys and you're like, yeah, I can see it. I don't think every girl goes for these guys. Of course, there's going to be women who are just like not. But some of the like young, fun chicks who just don't really care, they're just like, yeah, whatever, this guy's fucking great. And so, yeah, and you think, oh, is it? And these guys, I know they're not paid for play either because I know what the sex tourists are like. There are some sex tourists kicking around, not so much in Santo Domingo, but in other parts of the DR. I know exactly what those guys look like, and they look like they look like losers. They look like what you'd expect them to look like. So these guys are not doing that. They'll pay for the drinks, they'll pay for the taxi, same as I would do, but like that's it, So there are guys in their 70s doing it. I was in the gym the other day, and there's this Dominican guy, definitely in his 60s, macking this girl. She's like fucking smoking, about 25, I'd say. I don't really flirt in the gym, which I should do, but I really go into autism mode in the gym, like true autism. Like I can't talk. I'm just so focused on what I want to do because yeah, I just want to like work out as hard as I can, and then there you go. I'm spent. I did my best, like, and then I'm done. So I don't really want to be flirting around, like. But this guy's in there, and this girl. She's actually doing a proper workout, and this guy's just like flirting with her, and he starts talking to her. And initially, she did not want to know. She didn't want to know at all. And he was completely oblivious, right? He's completely unaffected. And this is a great lesson for guys. Is like, if you're actually just oblivious, you're unaffected by any of her, for me, is like someone who just cold approach. I'm looking at her reaction going, yeah, she's not into this. And like, I'm quite persistent, but after a while, I will usually leave it. I'm actually realizing, no, I need to get more in this guy's lane. The 60-year-old is schooling me. Especially out here, actually. Some of the girls, like, if you just stick around, they'll just turn, they'll flip, they'll start to like you. It's really interesting. But this guy, yeah, that's what he basically did. And I'd say I was working out for another half an hour. And by the time, he would leave her, he would give her some space and stuff, and he'd come back and chat to her again. He was completely oblivious to her reaction. He was just happy. He obviously liked her. By the end, she was like fucking giggling. She's eating out of the palm of the guy's hand. Yeah. So yeah, he's just like in his 60s, my friend. Charisma, self-confidence, and just, you know what it is? It's almost like the guy doesn't even have the capacity to question himself. Just like, why would I don't even have the ability to question myself. It's almost like, yeah, it's so interesting. So yeah, I'm seeing guys in their 60s and 70s cold approaching and chatting up girls in their 20s, both Italian and Dominican guys doing this. And I'm seeing street Dominican guys who are like, I don't even really like those guys that much. They are kind of like the lowest of the low. And they're doing it as well. And so you have, and I'm seeing this in front of my eyes every single day. Contrary to the Lux Maxers who don't see any of this, right? They don't, because they're in their bedroom and they're scrolling. And maybe they get on Tinder. So that's all they've got. So they don't actually know what charisma looks like. They don't actually know what self-confidence looks like. And it's, yeah, I say the US, but it's the Europe as well. It's Europe as well. And it's been pushed everywhere. Yeah, I mean, these people, they don't realize it's also, I think what's even worse is like, you're such a psychological woman. This is what's even worse. You've warped yourself into a psychological woman, right? Like, you're a spiritual transsexual. Like, what are you actually doing? Yeah. Um, Guys like putting makeup on and stuff. Like, what are you fucking doing, dude? Um, yeah. So let's have a look if there's any more. Um, yeah, terminology is horrendous. Aura. Uh, yeah, Elisha. Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not even joking. Yeah, I've been watching his vids. I've wanted to smoke a cigar as well. Uh, I've resisted the temptation. I really like him. To me, he's like Americana, cowboy, fucking cool American dude. That's we need more of that, man. We need a lot more of that. Guys like that. Um, you know, uh, yeah, retard Maxin. It's such a. I've seen like people doing copycat videos on retards and stuff. Maybe I should do one a retard video. But yeah, it's kind of like that Dominican guy in the gym, the 60-year-old. He was just kind of being retarded. Like he was not. He just was being a retard, you know. And the girl eventually just liked him, you know. Um, yeah. So Alexander, yeah, Balkan or South American was hotter. Hmm. You know, my favorite is still Dominican. My favorite, um, and Latin American. I think they've got a slightly more delicate, like more womanly features. Um, the Balkanas are a bit harder in their features, like the shape, often. Sometimes not, but often. I do think though, Belgrade, man, in terms of the frequency of like eights, I don't think it's hard. It's hard because when I was first in the DR, I would still say the DR was better. But I'm realizing now I came at a time when an exceptional time, which was during the pandemic when there was a curfew. So my area, this is the area that people come out to on a Sunday afternoon, Saturday afternoon. So my area at like um, 4 p.m., 5 p.m. on a Saturday, particularly on a Sunday, because it's curfew at 7 and people want to do something on Sunday afternoon, everyone came to my area. So like, I swear to God, my friend puts it perfectly. He goes, mate, you walk down that street, you need to wash your eyes afterwards. Like the first that first year or year and a half I was here, like every Sunday I go out and I'm like, I can't believe my eyes. The frequency of ass is just off the fucking charts. So for me, that'd be the number one thing I've ever seen was Zona Colonial during the pandemic. I've never seen that much ass anywhere in my life. Petite asses, thick asses, big asses, curvy asses. Just the fitness of the girls. You could not move. It was literally every 3 seconds you were seeing a smoke show. Every 3 seconds. I've never seen anything like that. Belgrade, in terms of frequency, I think is probably the second best I've been to in terms of frequency. It's like you go into those streets on a decent day, and it's like, you know, Jay's immersion, because there was the protest, he got quiet days. There was still a lot of fit girls, very few ugly ones. But like when it was busy on some of those like Monday, Tuesday nights we go down, it was like fucking ridiculous. I couldn't even walk from Vračar to the city centre without seeing at least 5 or 6 like genuine eights. And Belgrade is a place where you would see actual tens as well. And I don't even like their look so much, but it's like I can't deny what I'm seeing in front of me is just completely stunning level of beauty. But I think it's a slightly masculinized type of beauty, like not masculine, but like a little bit more. The South American is more feminine. So yeah, what I'm seeing though now in the DR, which is a little bit concerning, is this last few years, like 3 4 years, American fast food has piled in for like the last 10 years, really. What I'm seeing now is, unfortunately, I'm starting to see a lot more obesity and I'm seeing a lot of chubbier girls as well. There's still obviously a lot of hot ones, but it's like, is this a, what's happened in Brazil, for example, is fast food has destroyed their population of attractiveness. It's fucking destroyed them. They're all, so many of them are 20, 30 pounds overweight. Some of them are like 60 pounds overweight in Salvador. I was really disappointed with Salvador in terms of quality. Like, because you can, I met a Miss Universe out there. Yeah, that's fucking amazing. But like, if you want to play the odds, I want to go to a place where the odds are like 50% of the girls are fucking smoking. That's what I want. Those are the odds I want. Then I can just pick on personality, who I'm going to date. And I think all guys, yeah, we want to be spoiled for choice. And fast food actually is starting to fuck things up. Because girls who like, 20 pounds, like 10, 20 pounds, like that can make all the difference, that can really make all the difference. So yeah, but it's September, so I don't think I've really seen a peak. I've not seen it in peak time just yet. I think we'll probably wait till around Christmas time when we go back up to the north, Santiago. I'll report up from there, which again, those girls are fucking insane as well. So yeah, for me overall, Latinas are better, but I think there's a slight risk with the Latin world. Are they all just going to get, or half of them just going to start becoming obese? Mexico now is more obese than the US, so you can imagine what that does to the sexual market. So yeah, get in now. Let's have a look here. So Krakow beats Belgrade frequency. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so this is what it is. Yeah, I've heard really good things about Krakow. It's good you checked it out now. At the end of the day, like, if you just, because a 7 is actually fit. People don't understand what a 7 is. On the pyramid, right? The 7 is like, she's in the top, 30% of women, basically. Or probably even higher than that. She's in the top 20% of women. It's a pyramid, so it's shrinking all the way up, right? So like an actual 10, that's like 1 in 1,000. And a 9 is like 1 in 300 or something. It's extremely fit. So like an 8 is like, globally, you're like, man, this girl is fitter than 90%, 95% of women or something, or 93% of whatever it is, right? But a 7 is still fit. A 7 is got a good body, a plain face, and is like pretty well dressed. Like a 7 is decently fit. So what people think of as a 7 is kind of like, I think it's a bit warped. Like, oh, it's just an average girl. Like, no, an average girl is a 5. That's by definition. So a girl who's got nothing at all interesting on her body, but not repulsive, and nothing at all interesting on her face, she's a 5. That's a 5. It's not really attractive. It's just like standard. Maybe a lower attractive guy might find her like to be something worthwhile. But so yeah, if you're in a place where there's lots and lots of 7s, 7.5s, 8s, like that's fucking awesome. That's fucking awesome. Baggy jeans have infested Krakow. Yeah, it's unfortunate, that style, yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. This is another thing as well, is like, women just follow. They just follow whatever bullshit they're told to follow. It's like, this is a new style, baggy jeans. That will eventually go out of style because some famous woman will come along and start like looking as sexy as fuck, and all the girls will copy her. It just is what it is. The interesting thing with guys as well is like, I was thinking about this the other day. Whatever I value in a woman, there's no like standard where someone can say to me, oh, she's this, and this, therefore you should like her. What I value is mostly, it's personal and biological. It's like those two things, right? But it's the same as well. So what they value often is quite socially, like, it's much more socially engineered what they value. So what it does get you a little bit into conspiracy theory, to be honest with you, because you're like, if they're presented with a certain image and archetype in the media of what is a cool guy, they're going to gravitate towards that. And in a fairly unthinking way. I mean, it's a funny story. My mom said she used to really fancy all the like the Thunderbirds, which were fucking puppets, because they were on the TV. It's actually a perfect example. She used to fancy the puppets from the Thunderbirds. She used to like have a crush on this guy called Troy Tempest, who was a puppet on Stingray, the fucking submarine, because she saw it on TV when she was like 12. So it just shows like they're shaped by media, right? You put something else up there, you put another guy up there, another profile. Yeah, so it's interesting, that is. And ultimately, like if you don't fit that image in some way or behaviorally fit that image, then there's nothing you can really do. And you shouldn't want to degrade yourself to be like some urban fucking bad boy gangster just to get a woman's pussy hot. It's fucking stupid. Like, let her go and be stupid. There's plenty of girls who like don't value that because they think it's retarded, and they value like aspiration and advancement, and guys who embody that. So yeah, and there's nothing you can do with those girls. I call them social divers. We've got a lot of them in Sheffield. It's like there's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. So just no point even engaging. Masculine energy compared to other nationalities. Yeah, they're a little bit like fake alpha males in a way. Like Serbia is a funny one. I do think the guys, like, I actually like the guys out there, but sometimes there's a little bit of like, I see it in my comments a little bit. It's like these fake. I see it on Baltus's comments. It's like they're kind of fake alphas. A lot of these guys. It's like, you just kind of like ethno-narcissists. The Serbs are definitely ethno-narcissists. Like they're like incredible ethno-narcissists, which I don't think is a bad thing actually. I think it's actually a good thing. But like it doesn't quite fit together. I'm like, it doesn't quite all work in my mind. I think they're underperforming a little bit, in my opinion. I think it's a mostly female. It's not a patriarchy. It's a mostly female controlled sexual marketplace in Serbia, mostly. The guys are like, they rely on their looks much more than anything else, much more. They don't really, because I was out in the day, I was out at night. The only guys doing like serious approach anywhere was all foreign. It was all foreign guys. I think the local guys go through their local scene, but I do think they rely a bit more on looks from what I could see. So, and anytime you get that is actually a symbol. It's an indication of more of a female dominated situation where the men are almost competing on looks. Like there's a few cultures like it's a little bit strange. So I think it's quite a mysterious country for an outsider. Like I still don't fully. I've sort of got to grips with Serbia. Well, I was only out there for 5 months, so it's like, how much can you get to grips with it in that time period? I think the guys could be very good at approach, and like I think they could be peak level, like whatever they want, if they want to be playboys or husbands or whatever. I think they could, definitely. They've got all the ingredients. But I do think like, I saw some comments on Balthus's channel, these guys like insulting him, and I'm like, bro, I've seen this guy in set, and he's doing phenomenally well with these Serbian girls. You're sat there insulting him, trying to be an alpha male. Meanwhile, I guarantee if you went out into the street, you'd have a hard time. It's not easy, especially when you're starting off. Balthus is extremely good. Extremely good. He's been doing it a while. And yeah, guys are like on his channel insulting him and stuff. And I'm like, I can see that like from their names, they're Serbian guys. So it's kind of like, come on. Like if you're such an alpha male, why aren't you doing it? And you'll probably quickly find being a quote unquote alpha male is not actually enough. That's a little bit of a part of it, but maybe in relationships, but on approach, there's a lot of other things that come into play. So I think the Balkan guys, I think they probably have the highest untapped potential that I've seen. Like they could run their girls ragged, no problem at all. no problem at all. But I think there's a bit of fear there, and then because of the alpha male thing, they don't want to admit that they're actually just like shit. We need to get over this fear a little bit. Um, so yeah, I think it's a very untapped like group of guys. Whether they would be in, whether they want to, that's the thing. I don't know if they want to. I don't know. I feel like they don't really want to actually. I feel like they just want to get one girlfriend and have a family. That's kind of what I feel. So in that case, it's a different culture, but um, I'm looking at it just purely from the metric of like they could maybe they wouldn't compete with the Italians, but they could be getting up there, you know. Um, SB, Serbian girls, other nationalities. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Universal. Yeah, sneakers. Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, SB. Yeah, the girls have a little bit of no, the girls have got a bit of a fake alpha male personality as well. A lot of them, yeah, as well as the guys. Um, the girls have got it as well, a little bit. But I think you can break through that quite easily. Um, I feel like the type of girls who would be very passionate if you had them as a girlfriend, though. Um, from what I saw, like I had great interactions with Serbian girls. That there is a little bit of that, masculine type, but it's not as bad as some parts of the world. Like fuck me, some American girls, dude. Oh my god, literally repulsive, dude. I've seen them. I swear to God, I cross the street. If I see a bunch of them coming down, I'll just cross. I'll cross over the street. I don't want to smell them. Um, it's almost like I don't even know what to say about those American girls, to be honest. Not even a civilized human being, actually. They don't even qualify for that. Never mind like an elegant woman. And there's always a bit of yin yang, right? Men, we have sensitivity in us as well. It doesn't mean we're fucking feminine. Women have got like a bit of spite, aggression, a bit of, combativeness sometimes, or they've got whatever they've got. Some women actually are very stoic, actually. But they're still women at the end of the day. Like we still fundamentally fit into these profiles. I see American, I see like a bunch of immature children trying to be men, but just being completely retarded to the point. They, it's truly like a Dunning-Kruger. They've got no concept of how they're seen by everybody else. By every other country, they're just seen as complete fucking idiots. Um, yeah, Jesus Christ. I remember talking to UJ about there was a girl I met who was a porn star, and she's an American porn star in in Belgrade. And I think she was after about a few seconds of conversation, she was so repulsive. I was like, almost wanted to get away, but the polite British guy was like, "Ah, just carry on the conversation, mate. It's not that big a deal." But I felt physically like I needed to get away from her. But I think she might have been on gear. I think she might have been on drugs. We talked about that. Yeah. I'm just waiting to be. I want to be proven wrong with American girls. Like genuinely, I want to meet some who are really cool, and I can at least go right. Well, I met these ones who were fucking sound. I know obviously Ephraim's got a lot of American girlfriends and stuff like that, so I'm sure he's found some good ones. It's a massive country. There must, by definition, be good ones. Fuck me, it's a to produce women like that. Something has gone badly fucking wrong in your society. To the point, it makes me wonder: can that society even be sustained? When I think about it, can that be sustained over a few centuries? I don't think it can. I don't think it can. Serbia will still be there in 200 years. Somewhere like the US is much more unpredictable, even though it's a big power now. Anyway, um, yeah, it's fun of it. No, with American girls, it's more like I literally find the ones I meet, they're so obnoxious and stupid and fat and offensive that I mean, I definitely have no expectations. I definitely don't, but I can't connect with them on any level at all. Um, yeah, that is really the norm. So I just avoid them. I just avoid them. It's not worth it. They're not they're not high level girls in general. You know, like that's the thing with like say Dominican, for example. Every girl I've dated here can cook. Every single girl can cook like really well. We'll take it as a given. If they come to my apartment, they'll just clean my apartment for a bit, and then I just pay for shit. The roles are clearly defined, right? So like, what makes a decent guy? What makes a decent girl? Like, you just play your role. There you go. Um, you know, it's like, yeah, I do think actually when I look at like Western Europe, what I was subjected to with some women is like I honestly think it's borderline abuse. Like it's like it's and the reason you're subjected to it is just because you have a need for sex, right? But I'm like, yeah, so that girl, I'm thinking back, I'm like, so she didn't really cook. She wasn't even that good in bed. She was annoying. She was fit. And she had sometimes we had all right conversation, maybe, or whatever. And I'm like, and I put up with that on top of like me like paying for stuff if we go out. Like realistically, I'm being subjected to an unequal thing there. That's not universal. That's like a once or twice, but it was with like the more like European chicks. Yeah, it's interesting because like girls who are actually smart get it. Like there's a girl I know. She's like a human sciences Oxford graduate. Right, this girl. So smart girl. She's got a good career. And I remember her when she was about 23. We talked, and she's with a guy she really liked, and she was like, "Yeah, look, I I iron his fucking shirts, and I put his socks out for him every day. Yeah, and he's high level, she's high level. She did it. Lo and behold, he fucking proposes to her, gets married to her. She's 3 children, great family life and stuff. You know, it's still like it's not a fancy life. They have their challenges and so on. But it's like she was a genuinely high level girl who was genuinely intelligent. And she said, I remember word for word, yeah, she's like, a guy's not gonna stick around if you don't do anything like to improve his life. I was like, yeah, this is why she's actually smart. She doesn't just think she's smart; she actually is smart. Then she gets a good result. So she's got like a good life, you know. So yeah, most girls in most countries, they just know this on default because they're told from birth, you know. But anyway, so yeah, they're not really high enough value for me to be bothered with. Couldn't be bothered really. I think I'm going to hopefully head over to the US at some point this year, hopefully do some filming out there. And I think there's going to be a big influx of American guys wanting to do some approach and realizing the guys are quite well received overseas. American guys are quite well received overseas because they're often quite in shape. They're often quite outgoing. With the way the American economy is, if they're even like top 30% in the US, they're basically some of the richest guys in the world by definition, because the US growth has been insane for the last 15 years. So they've got money to fucking burn. And so they can go and like lord it up all over the place. And I think but paradoxically, they seem that unfortunately for them, their women are basically not a very good package. They don't have a corresponding female package. So I think there's going to be a lot of them who are just going to go, fuck it, I'll go marry a Serbian girl, go marry a Dominican girl, go marry a Mexican girl, whatever. I think there'll be a lot of American guys who do that. And yeah, so some Americans in the entourage who are like doing actually really well, really fucking cool guys. So my critique is more applying to the women. The guys are actually pretty sound. Because they get it. They're like, yeah, I know I've got to work hard and do my job for my whole life. And I know what I've got to do. Yeah, I think there's going to be an influx of those guys looking for wives, and they're going to be going overseas. They are. And it's not going to be losers like sexual refugees who can't get laid. There will be guys who can get laid, but they're just like, I'm not interested in a boss bitch. Yeah? I just want a fucking wife. Yeah? A normal fucking wife. I wonder if the whole boss bitch thing just plays itself out, you know, in a few decades, because they're just not going to reproduce. And if they don't reproduce, anything that does not reproduce dies. You know, cultures that don't reproduce die. You know, trajectories that prove to be infertile will eventually die. Um, yeah. Yeah, and this is the thing for this whole thing. Like the end game for guys is you have some fun for a while, but you are eventually going to end up finding a woman to have something with, like a family with. It's just inevitable. I think let's say in the entourage, my group of guys, I think 90% will end up doing that. For me, at a certain point, I know I'll get to a certain point where I'll be like, hopefully it doesn't come to this, where I'll just be like, I just spaff this one up, mate. Just like you need to do it now. Stop fucking around. I'm definitely on the lookout now. But yeah, if you have like cultures which don't reproduce, they're gonna fucking die. Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah, UK guys are not in a dissimilar spot. I would agree. I mean, it's been a long time since I've dated a British girl. The only British girl I dated in the last decade was really an accident. She was born in Sao Tome, and she grew up in Portugal, mostly until she was about 12. But she really fucking absorbed the British fucking retardia. So yeah, you know it as a guy. It's on instinct, man. It's on instinct because it's not like I don't discriminate against any nationality. When I do meet a good British girl who's natural, she gets it, then I'm really interested. If anything, still that would in a way still, even with all the international stuff, still will be a preference because you've got a natural, you come from the same place, you've got a natural familiarity. But those girls are so fucking rare. English guys just inevitably, just their instinct takes them towards foreign girls on instinct. If I look at my mates I grew up with, one guy married a Russian, he's from Siberia. One guy married a Ukrainian. Another guy is currently living with a girl from mainland China. Who else have we got? Another guy married a half Romanian, half Italian. Yeah, those would be like close friends that I grew up with. One guy married, I think he's married to an English girl. He married a couple of English girls, got divorced the first time round. So it's like, and one guy's South African as well. I think about that. So yeah, I'm someone who's like a traveler and stuff like this, an explorer. So it's kind of natural for me to come into contact with and be interested in foreign women. These guys are not like that though. One of these guys like a building contractor, you know, like they're not, or another guy works in property. It's like, they're not guys who would even, they don't even have that much access to foreign girls, but then they meet one, they're like, yeah, actually she's fucking cool. And then they start realizing like, yeah, I could have a family with this one, you know? So yeah, it's, I mean, ultimately those people are going to win out eventually, because you can't just sustain infertile bullshit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's so interesting, Jay. So because you think I've been labeled by so many people around me as like, oh, you know, like you just hate English women or whatever, and it's, oh, you can't pull English women, so you hate them. And it's like, no, I can pull English women. It's not that difficult. I've had English girlfriends, but I'm just looking at it going, I made an instinctive move. And then at a certain point, I just realized there's just no point even talking to them, because like, I don't like the over drinking culture. Well, that's 90% of them. The educated ones, if they've got like a, you know, liberal arts education, it's the same bullshit they've got in America. It's just stupid. They're just basically they're just stupid. So yeah, the pool gets thinner and thinner, basically. There are some cool northern girls who are down to earth and hot, but it's like, good luck finding them, you know. There's none in Sheffield. It's the fucking pits, man. It's just like the local girls, man. Fuck me. Yeah. His brother dated at the time when yeah. So, but it's just interesting. You're saying that as well. So you're 5 years younger than me, and you're saying that most of your mates are marrying girls from overseas. I imagine they're probably all quite relatively focused, trying to achieve good things in life, and they're looking at women, English women, and going, that's a liability. It's so interesting. This is such an interesting phenomena. Yeah, the men get stigmatized. Like realistically, the women should be stigmatized, but I don't even fully blame them because they're just followers. They're just fucking chicken. They're brainless chickens. They'll do whatever society tells them to do. They worship society. They worship whatever is put in front of them. So like, that's where it does make me feel like there's a sickness, like in them, some weird messaging coming through. And it's interesting, like you can't even separate cold approach from fucking politics, can you? It's fucking weird. Yeah, I think Irish girls have got a bit of character to them, haven't they, as well? For me, the concern with Irish girls is like the drinking aspect. I don't really want a girl who drinks like a lot, heavy, and I think Irish girls do. But yeah, they're definitely more down to earth. There was a guy in the entourage, he left now, but he's from Ireland. I asked him about Irish girls, and he was like, yeah, to be honest, they're actually very kind. So yeah, he had good things to say about them. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a weird state of affairs. Men having to go overseas, like, just to find decent women. I wonder what happens to these women. Do they just hook up with losers? You know, is that what happens? It's dysgenic though, isn't it? It's literally like the population is not going in the right fucking direction. It's not what you're supposed to have. The best marrying up with the best, and that's supposed to be how it works. That's like the healthy way it should work. We're just gonna be a generation of pirates. Like that's what we are, generation pirate. Guys, it's the same. All the guys in the entourage are the same. Christian's got a foreign girlfriend. Balthus pretty much only dates foreign girls. Ephraim, he dates foreign girls. I date foreign girls. I'm living in a foreign country. Richie, he dates foreign girls. Iceman, he only dates foreign girls. Just thinking who else is in there. Yeah, Dynasty Day Game, he dates foreign girls. Senator Winner, he just eats them all. But I think he's got a foreign Brazilians and stuff. Just generation pirate. All the guys who want to get decent feminine women, they're all looking overseas. Interesting times, man. Interesting times. I think you just end up, all these educated women, they just end up with these beta males, and they just end up being childless, and they'll never look at themselves. They'll never look at themselves. It'll be too late by the time they do. Yeah, interesting times, man. Yeah. So I think I've covered everything there. I do enjoy the sociological element to all of this. I have to say, I find it really interesting. Here, for example, like, there is no such thing as left wing in the Dominican Republic. It literally doesn't exist. You'll never find a girl who says she's left wing because it doesn't exist. And you'll never find a girl who wants to talk about politics, ever. You'll never find it. It doesn't exist. Yeah, they don't have liberal arts bullshit in the unis. I don't think you can even study literature at the unis here. It's just purely technical, which is like, yeah, it's interesting. And business, tourism, normal girls, man. And this is not a fully developed country. It's like half developed. It's crazy. Yeah, it's a factory of fucking wives. Yeah, that is interesting. So yeah, we covered the looks maxing, strange behavior. Those guys, I'm like, part of me wants to reach out to them to try and persuade them, guys, just come follow this. You don't need to looks max forever. Women basically want a man. It's not about really looks. Like, I know I can outperform guys who are like better looking than me if they don't have self-confidence and they're not bold. I know I'll outperform them if I perform whatever, but I mean, I know I can maybe pick up more numbers than them, get more interest than the guys who are good looking with their wallflowers. Same with the rich guys. I mean, if they get their shit together as well, then they can do super well as well. But The looks maxing thing is just so overplayed. And I think guys don't realize like just the bold masculine presence is the main thing women respond to. They fantasize like fuck all over all that. We can't see it because it's just us. Like when they see a pair of tits, if they're not lesbians, they're just like, it's just a tit, why? And we fucking salivating over it. And it's the same with our masculinity, our nature towards them. We don't really have to do much. It's just in our nature, you know. As long as we just get in there, get in front of them, you know, a lot of the time it will just sort of take care of itself. But these looks maxing guys, they just don't get it. They don't get it. And then they're not around charismatic guys. The best thing they could do would be like, take a trip here, walk up and down the Conde, see the street hustlers, and like, yeah, okay, I get it. Or go to Italy, see the relentless Italian flirts. French guys are good as well. French guys are fucking gangsters as well. They're really good. They're really good. Yeah, I think they're like, because of the wars and shit, I think they're like, you know, they're seen as like pussies or whatever, but they're not at all. They're not at all. English guys have got a lot of charisma as well. I think maybe it could do with getting a bit more self-confidence. English guys are too much of a crabs in a bucket type of mentality there, but I think in general the banter's good, the attitude is good, just a bit more self-confidence. But yeah, looks maxing is just like, fucking hell. These guys have just got no clue. They're lost. Interesting. What a generation, what a world we're fucking living in. Oh yeah, mate. Yeah, debate with the YouTube looks maxers. That's the thing. What I want to do with the channel is I want to get essentially an undeniable amount of footage on the channel. That's really all I want to do. I'll do the talking head videos, but I think it's one thing for me to go and talk. It's another thing to show guys, okay, this is what you have to do. That's why Christian's got like a lot of kudos, and Ephraim as well, because they've got a lot of footage. I'm starting to get it. I feel like if I've got like, if you see me on camera, like, or I'm thinking of getting some of these glasses, you know, the Ray-Bans, so I can record in set. If I've got like, let's say I've got 50 closes on camera, and you can see the girl handing me her number, and you can just see an interaction. That proves to any normal person, like that surely proves like, okay, talking to women is more important than just preening yourself and like, you know, like doing I don't know, just doing like whatever fucking routines you've got, having like facial surgery and stuff. It's more the fact that they're so dependent on looks, and they really believe in that, like this fantasy of the looks maxing, and they don't understand just talking to the chicks, like, duh. And then they see guys who do talk to women and like, they don't have actual examples. This is the thing, because there's so few good seducers out there, especially in the Anglo-American culture, or just confident guys. So they don't have reference points. So if I can give reference points of myself, and then hopefully in the future even students as well, I think that just speaks for itself. And it's like, if you come across that material, you don't get it, then you're just kind of stupid, really. But yeah, the Albanian market. Yeah, I'm thinking like what to, you know, I'm already thinking ahead to 2026. It's super nice being back in the tropics, man. It's so relaxing being here. So I'm definitely gonna be out here for, I think, until at least May, June, and then probably will be back into the Balkans. If I come back to Europe, I'll be going back to the Balkans for sure. Maybe outside chance Poland, but 90% will be Balkans if I come back in next summer. Yeah, we need to hit Banja Luka as well, September, Freshers Week in Banja Luka. I feel like that will like, because I'm getting on now, I'm like pushing 40. I feel like I've got maybe 2-3 more years of this type of shit, just going around random countries before it starts to get old. It's not getting old, I have to say, just yet, but yeah, I assume it will do at some point. I asked my Italian friends about this. Yeah, yeah. These guys give me inspiration as well, because I'm like coming up to 40, and they're just like, mate, I had my first child at 50, mate. Just fucking relax, yeah. And they just had normal family lives, and now they're old men being players. It's just ridiculous. So yeah. Um, but yeah, I think definitely a few more Balkan missions would be good. There's a girl out there I'm actually very into. We still go back and forth. It's very fucking nice blonde girl, really cool energy. Um, and we'll see with that one. I got a weird feeling when I met her. I was like, I have enough dates to know when there's something interesting going on. Doesn't mean it's going to go all the way or anything like that, but it's like, nah, this is way, way above average connection. This is way above average. Um, so there is one out there already. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't get married in the meantime. Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. You should, mate. Honestly, if you can make it out to, if you can get ready for some South America missions, like, yeah, even if I do get shacked up with someone, I'm still going to be going on missions. I'll just train other guys or just do other things. Yeah, I'm not going to be one of these fucking domesticated house husband. I'm just I can't like I would just go completely insane. I think so. I'll still be doing. I've already figured out. I'll just say to my wife like, yeah, I've got business in Serbia for 2 months. Yeah, peace. Yeah, just she's not gonna probably even know what I do for a living anyway. So that's the thing I hear. Like the girls don't even really give a shit. Like all they know that I'm got do I work online. They don't know anything else, and they it's they don't even want to. It's just like yeah, he's got a job. Fine, bye. You know. Um, Yeah, the girl I'm seeing here, she's already said like, yeah, I can just if you want, I can just wait here for you, and you can just go and basically, she said, go and do whatever you want all over the world. I literally don't care. I'll just be your local chick here, you know. Um, so there's definitely girls like that. Um, yeah. Oh mate, Albania. I think those girls are fucking fit. They're some of the fittest girls I've seen actually. Albanians. I preferred Albanians overall to Serbians, to be honest. I found them more feminine in their looks, more fine, really fine features. Um, yeah. Right, boys. Amazing to chat. Good to see there's a few viewers in here as well. So I'm Joseph the Wing Bro. If you're interested in learning more about Cold Approach, you can go check out one of my other videos you've got. I don't have a link in this one, but most of my videos have got links to a full Cold Approach course, which just did over the summer. That'll give you an intro on what you need to know, what you need to do to actually get into some approach. And if you are wanting to decide that I need to get off the apps, I need to actually go and do this, and you're looking for some assistance, I'll be running immersions again in 2026. So if you want to get on a call, it's calendly.com/wingbro. At the moment, I'm just living my life at the moment. So yeah, good to catch everyone. Peace and love, boys. I'll see you in the next one.